Constant protection at the old Pajeta Conservancy in Kenya. Why are they on the verge of extinction? 1. Poaching. Most of the population was killed by poachers for their valuable horns, used in traditional medicine and as luxury items. 2. Habitat destruction. Expanding farmland and overgrazing have significantly reduced their natural habitats. Efforts to save them. 1. Artificial breeding. Scientists are working on techniques like in vitro fertilization, using preserved sperm from deceased males to try to save the species. 2. Strict protection. The last two individuals are under constant armed guard to ensure their safety. Can they be saved? Hope lies in the success of scientific advancements like cloning or developing artificial breeding techniques, but the process is long and challenging. If you have more questions or want to learn about efforts to protect endangered species, feel free to ask. I'm happy to help. Here's a more detailed and complete overview of the Northern White Rhinoceros. Current status. The Northern White Rhino is now considered functionally extinct, meaning there are no living males and only two females remain, Najin and Fatu. They are kept under 24/7 armed protection at the Old Pajeta Conservancy in Kenya to protect them from poaching and ensure their survival. Historical background. Northern white rhinos once roamed large areas of East and Central Africa, particularly in countries like Sudan, Chad, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. However, their numbers plummeted during the 20th century due to relentless poaching and habitat destruction. By the early 2000s, the population had dwindled to a critical point. Why are they almost extinct? 1. Poaching. Driven by high demand for rhino horns in traditional medicine, especially in East Asia, and as a status symbol. Rhino horns are falsely believed to cure illnesses, though they are made of keratin, the same material as human nails. 2. Habitat loss. Human activities like agriculture, logging, and grazing have destroyed much of their natural habitat. Efforts to save them. Despite the challenges, scientists and conservationists are determined to bring the species back through innovative methods. 1. Artificial reproduction. Scientists are using in vitro fertilization, IVF, to create embryos from the eggs of Najin and Fatu, fertilized with sperm collected from deceased northern white rhino males. The embryos are preserved and may eventually be implanted into southern white rhino surrogates, a closely related species. 2. Cloning and stem cell research. Researchers are exploring advanced genetic techniques to create viable embryos using stem cells derived from preserved tissue samples of northern white rhinos. 3. Strict protection. Conservation organizations are working tirelessly to prevent poaching, not just for the last two northern white rhinos, but for other rhino species as well. Challenges ahead. Technological hurdles. Reproductive technology for rhinos is still in its infancy, and creating viable embryos is a complex and expensive process. Low genetic diversity. With only a handful of preserved genetic material available, the limited gene pool poses a significant challenge to re-establishing a sustainable population. Ongoing poaching threats. Rhino poaching continues to threaten other species like the southern white rhino and black rhino. Importance of conservation. The plight of the northern white rhino highlights the urgent need to protect endangered species and preserve biodiversity. Their story serves as a powerful reminder of the devastating impact humans can have on wildlife and the incredible efforts required to undo the damage. If you're curious about other endangered species or how technology is being used in wildlife conservation,